So you're finally deciding to buy a lifting belt, and you're not sure what belt to get. You're either thinking the SBD belt or the Inzer belt. Or you may even have an Inzer belt and you're thinking about upgrading into an SBD belt, as so I have done. So in this video, we're going to compare the two belts, and we're going to take in consideration a couple of factors that will decide whether the SBD belt's for you or the Inzer belt is for you.
So before jumping into any comparison, I think it's important to put this out there that either of these belts are amazing for powerlifting or general strength training. So if you're a beginner, either of these belts are a significant upgrade compared to that of a flimsy bodybuilding or weightlifting belt. So either of these belts are a good option. The first category that I want to compare is going to be the affordability, the sizes, and options. The Inzer belt is a significantly cheaper belt, going for $140 Canadian for the 10mm lever belt, while the most expensive option goes for $152 for the 13mm lever belt. Pretty much this is the thickness of the material of the leather, not the width. The Inzer belt comes in two options, the lever belt and the prong belt. I personally recommend getting the lever belt, as the prong belt requires energy to put on and it becomes more annoying than anything over time. The Inzer belt comes in many colors if you're into that. Now let's move on to the SBD belt. Going for $285 Canadian, this belt comes in one specific style, so you won't get the many color options that you'll get with your Inzer belt. On top of that, there's only one thickness, going at 13mm. I'll admit, coming from a 10mm Inzer belt, I was a little bit disappointed that they did not have a thinner size. The 13mm has unnecessary amount of material, and I don't really see any extra benefit compared to that of the 10mm. So the Inzer belt does win with the affordability and the options available. Now let's move on to the next comparison, the fit. So with the Inzer lever belt, you're restricted to the preset size that you've set with the bolts. It's not a huge deal if it's too loose or too tight. You just have to unscrew the bolts and to readjust on the spot. You won't get this problem with the prong belt, but with the prong belt, you'll have to exert energy to actually latch on the belt to a certain size. So if you want a certain tightness, you're going to expend a decent amount of energy yanking your waist against a pole to try to fit into your belt. I have a solution to have a alternative size with the Inzer belt. If you hook the first two teeth into the first two holes of your belt setting, you could have a more giving size, and this will be extremely useful for when you're more bloated than usual. I was actually using this more forgiving size to do my deadlifts because I actually prefer a less tight size when I set up for deadlifts. For squats, I prefer a lot tighter fit, so I used a full-on 4-prong hole fit. In this video, I use a finger test, so I can get about a finger inside when I latch all 4 holes into it and get 2 fingers when I latch only 2 holes. Now moving on to the SBD belt. As you see, the belt mechanism is a bit different compared to that of the Inzer belt. The belt buckle is invertedly placed on the belt so you could adjust the size to what fits on the spot, and that's extremely useful for when you're bloated or want a tighter fit. I also do the 1-finger test and 2-finger test to show that you can get both tightness with the SBD belt, as it has that ability to adjust on the spot. It's pretty much a hybrid version of a prong belt mixed with the Inzer belt, getting the best of both worlds. I'll have to give this one to the SBD belt. The fit is amazing. I'd like to drop a quick reminder to like the video if you're enjoying it so far, and if you find any of the information useful. Not only will this help the channel grow, but it will motivate me to produce more content like this. Alright, back to the video. Now let's address the final comparison between the Inzer belt and SBD belt, the build quality. So the Inzer belt is pretty good quality. I've had it for 5 years and there's only a couple of scuffs on the leather itself, and the buckle has yet to fail me. So retrospectively speaking, the Inzer belt served me well. As for the break-in phase, it wasn't that difficult for the belt to morph to my body. It was a matter of a couple of weeks and everything felt pretty smooth. So the SBD belt is the Ferrari of weightlifting belts. It is built with a very fine leathery feel to it. Now it may be the exact same leather, but just something about it makes it feel very high quality. Speaking about the break-in phase, the SBD belt was like a block of wood when it came in the mail. It came in this rectangle box. After tying the belt into a knot and leaving it sit for days, was the belt able to morph to my body without leaving any marks or bruises. Because I think the quality of the leather is a lot higher than that of the Inzer, I'm going to have to give this category to the SBD belt. So in summary, what should you get, the Inzer belt or the SBD belt? I think that's really up to you based on your personal preferences. This video is based on my personal preferences, and I prefer the SBD belt. Whether it is worth the double price point of an Inzer belt is up to you to decide. Again, from my perspective, Not having that extra bit of tightness really does impact my ability to brace when I'm training for the squat, and not being able to find that perfect loose position when I'm overbloated really ruins my position for the deadlift. With the build quality and the overall aesthetic of the belt, it is worth it. If you're looking to get that extremely fine fit for your bracing for the squat and looseness for your deadlift, I would highly recommend getting the SBD belt. But if you're just looking to get general strength and strength isn't your main priority and you're not a powerlifter, I would recommend just sticking to the Inzer belt as it is 50% cheaper.
If you like this video, give it a like and consider subscribing. I hope you enjoyed the video. That's about it. Peace out.